Previously, Eddie Brock and Venom clashed with Knull, the god of symbiotes. Although Knull's true form remained trapped, Eddie and Venom barely managed to weaken his presence, armed with new powers and hard-won knowledge. But that victory was temporary. Knull's shadow still looms, waiting for its chance to strike. As darkness gathers once more, Eddie and Venom prepare for the next battle. The war is far from over. After eons trapped in the void, Knull's awakening began with a simple spark, an Earth-based cult seeking to resurrect his influence. Their key? A deadly union between the serial killer Cletus and a piece of the Grendel symbiote. As the symbiote bonded to Cassati, Knull reached across the void, linking his mind to the twisted killers. But Cletus was no puppet, he resisted the god's control, severing their connection, but only for a time. Driven by a thirst for chaos and power, Cletus set out to collect the codices, fragments of symbiotes left in former hosts. Each codex would bring him one step closer to unleashing Knull upon the universe. As Cletus gathered the codices, Knull's power grew. The god of the abyss stirred, and, at last, he awoke. His first act? To destroy Clintar, home of the symbiotes. From its ashes rose a fleet of draconic symbiote creatures, Knull's instruments of destruction. Knull crushed all who opposed him, stripping Zakdel of his excellence and wielding the Necrosword once more, beginning his warpath across the universe. The Celestials, the greatest powers in the cosmos, fell before his abyssal might. But Knull's conquest wasn't limited to the stars. On Earth, he reached out to young Dylan Brock, the son of Eddie Brock, Venom's host, haunting his dreams and leaving a trail of terror in his wake. Blazing a path of destruction across the galaxy, Knull prepared for his return to Earth, where he would face humanity and their last defenders. The Age of Light was coming to an end. And the Age of Darkness had only just begun. But Earth is not unprepared. A warning reaches the planet's greatest heroes. Eddie Brock, who knows the horrors of symbiotes all too well, feels the dark presence approaching and wastes no time. He reaches out to the Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, and others and warns them, Knull, the ancient god of darkness, is coming. Heroes across the world prepare. From Avengers to street-level defenders, each takes their place, knowing this battle is not for power or territory, it is a fight for survival. As Eddie ponders the impending conflict, his thoughts turn to his son, Dylan. Entering Dylan's room, Eddie hesitates. How does a father prepare his son to face such a nightmare? But time is short, and the danger is real. Dylan wakes, sensing his father's urgency and the approaching darkness. Sharing his father's powers, he feels Knull's approach just as clearly as Eddie. Determined to fight by his father's side, Dylan insists on joining the battle, but Eddie, desperate to protect him, tries to dissuade him. This battle, Eddie argues, is no place for a child. In orbit, Tony Stark prepares Earth's defenses. Hundreds of space mines, each designed to target and destroy symbiotes, are set. As the first wave of Knull's army approaches Earth, Tony gives the command. The mines work brilliantly at first, incinerating thousands of symbiotes before they reach Earth's atmosphere. Tony watches, feeling a brief glimmer of hope. But Eddie, knowing the true extent of Knull's power, sends a grim warning: this is only the beginning. Knull's army is vast, relentless, and nearly impossible to kill. In moments, the sky darkens, not with clouds but with symbiotes. They fall like black rain, blanketing cities and landscapes. Heroes around the world spring into action, struggling to hold back the swarm. Doctor Strange and Storm combine their powers of fire and lightning, hoping to exploit the symbiotes' weaknesses. But even their might can only hold the horde at bay for so long. Knull's power protects his minions, rendering them almost invincible. Then, Knull arrives. His very presence spreads terror across the battlefield. He is darkness incarnate, the god of the symbiotes, and he's here with one purpose: to reclaim something he believes is his. Realizing that Knull's true target isn't him, but his son, Eddie hides Dylan in a bunker. But Eddie understands the stakes. He knows that only a confrontation with Knull himself might buy enough time for Earth's heroes to find a way to stop him. With Venom bonded to him one last time, Eddie steps forward to face Knull alone, offering himself in the hopes that it will spare his son. But Knull, seeing through Eddie's desperation, reveals his true plan. With a mere gesture, Knull rips Venom from Eddie, leaving him powerless. He reveals that Dylan's unique connection to the symbiotes makes him the key to expanding Knull's dominion beyond imagination. Helpless, Eddie watches as Knull moves closer to Dylan. In this final hour, he realizes that the fate of the world may rest in his son's hands. Will Dylan rise to meet his fate? Can Earth's heroes find a way to stop Knull before everything is lost? Or will this darkness consume everything in its path? Stay tuned for the next chapter in this epic battle. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to see how the confrontation unfolds. And tell us, what do you think? Can Dylan face Knull, or is the darkness here to stay?